So let me just finish and tell you what happened. So in my mind, I'm thinking, this is before, like, okay, when I find out I'm pregnant, I'm gonna like put some candles out, make a dinner, and tell him like, honey, you know, you're gonna be a dad, blah blah. It didn't work that way. I was like in the bathroom, I was like in shock. I was like, okay. At the moment, I didn't feel anything. I was just numb. I was like, okay. Took out the little paper. Mind you, I've done pregnancy tests for other patients. I've done pregnancy tests on myself. I know what a pregnancy test is supposed to look like. And I know how to read pregnancy tests, like blood pregnancy tests and things like that, HCG tests and stuff like that. And I just took out the little paper. I'm like, maybe it's just me. I'm imagining things. This is way too cool. So I call him in and I'm like, honey, what is that? He's like, what? I'm like, that. What is that? He's like, a line. I'm like, that is supposed to be positive. I'm pregnant. He's like, what? Stop. I was like, no, I'm pregnant. And it was crazy. He was just like, no way. I was like, yeah. So he called his friends. He's like, yo, Franco, I gotta, Brenna's pregnant. I'm like, can you just wait until we find out for real? So I went upstairs and I was like, I have to tell my mom. So I went with the little test, and I went upstairs and I told my mom. And actually, I was like, Mom. She was like sitting on the bed, like watching Sábado Gigante, for all those Spanish people out there. It's like a Spanish like game show that they give on Saturdays. She wasn't really watching it, like the show was watching her, because she was like, I'm like, Mom, come here. So she comes out and I'm like, I'm pregnant. She was like, oh my God, you know, she started praying and stuff like that. And my husband was like so out of it and so excited, like we were praying. He's like, isn't that cool? And I'm like, we're praying. So we went out, I got dressed, and it was like 11 o'clock at night, 11 something. We went out, we have a 24 hours, like a couple towns away, a 24-hour pharmacy. We went all the way to Queens, okay, to another town, and we went to this Walgreens, like on Queens Boulevard. And I was like, oh my God, they had some halal, like little thingy selling food. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna puke. I ran inside, I got the thing, we went back home, I tested it, I peed on it, and I was like, okay. I didn't really have to, but I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. So I did it, and then a few minutes later I come back and it's like blank. No other line, no positive, no negative, no line whatsoever. I'm like, oh, we went all the way over there, we got a freaking test that doesn't work. Whatever. I told him, I was like, it's not working. He was like, maybe you don't have enough pee. I'm like, there's pee on there. So I wrapped it up, I put the little top back on, I wrapped it up in the foil, I put it in the box and did my whole thing. I said, okay, we'll do it tomorrow. So I went to go, I put my PJs back on, I go to the bathroom to like brush my teeth, and I'm like, you know what, I just have to look again. It was like 10 minutes later, not even. And I look, and it was positive. I was like, oh my God, I was so excited. So I told him, oh my God. He called his mother. I was like, listen, it's almost 12 o'clock. Relax. So that's, I'm going to do a second parter, and I'll continue. All right?